that point, it was like total like year and a half.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun. I was also very young, and my thing too is, I know I'm not going to be young forever, so I'm going to put in the hours when my body can take it.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the things I also used to do through working at the country club and being there with a CMC, there was a lot of competitions for the ACF, so the American Culinary Foundation.
Yeah.
I did that. We went to the Junior Olympics. We went to Vegas. We won gold medal. I was like the tornado, just in case anything went wrong. I was supposed to jump in, and figure it out as part of the team. But also another thing I used to do back then, because I wasn't getting paid, I would do like small regional ACF competitions to get money.
Okay.
I was a little cocky, and I'd be like, okay, this pays $500 for the first place. I'm gonna go in and compete to win, to get the money, not for like the recognition.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing when I was young, to like make a little bit of money.
How many were you like winning?
I think I won like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was easy.
That must have been a boost of like, confidence at that young age.
I mean, I was like 19, and I don't know what. I had a lot of confidence because I didn't.
100%.
Like, not winning was not an option for me. It's like, I need this money. I don't need the medal.
Yeah.
I need the fucking prize money. That's how I'm gonna, figure out how to get snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was that, and then I wasn't in love with Houston at the time. I went there thinking that I was gonna meet a lot of people around my age and likes, and I lived in the downtown Galleria area. I was 19, 20 years old, and like, the people that live in that area are not 19 and 20 years old and living on a budget. So I graduated. I left to go back to San Antonio to chase friends. All my friends that I had gone to college were still in college.
Yeah.
And I was in a place where I was 20 years old. I had already graduated from my career. Had my associates, and I was ready to go into the world and start, paying for my shit.
Doing it,
and I did that in San Antonio just to be close with my friends, and then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm working at this restaurant, just like starting to live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm like seeing my friends still living their life. One of my friends went to Amsterdam for spring break.
Oh, wow.
And I got really fucking jealous.
I
was like, I want to see that part of the world. So when he got back, I asked him, I was like, hey, can I move in with you, live in your living room, and like, just pay little rent or just help with the bills till the end of this year, and then we go next summer and backpack through Europe? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I did that, and then we backpacked through Europe for like 3 to 4 months.
Damn, where'd you go?
Oh man, I went all over the place.
And who planned the route?
Me and my buddy.
You and your buddy.
Yeah, me and my buddy. He's not a chef. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
But he loves eating, and we grew up together. Like, it's one of those friendships that, like, whenever we travel, he lets me do the food part, and then he figures out like where we're gonna stay,
Gotcha.
And all the logistics.
So,
so we did the planning, but we started out in London, went to Ibiza, then Barcelona, did Valencia, did the round in Spain, ended up in Madrid, went to San Sebastian, Bilbao, did south of France, Toulouse.
Were you train flying?
So we flew there, and then we did a combination of mostly trains and some flying.
Okay, gotcha.
So we did south of France, then we went to Italy, south of Italy, went up north, we went to Czech Republic, went to Germany, went to Austria, Germany, Netherlands, of course. Then we went to northern France, Paris, and then we ended up in London, running out of money before like we had to come back for it was like 2 weeks before we had to come back, and like we rationalized it. Like, I remember our budget was like 30 to 40 euros a night.
Yeah.
Including hostel.
Okay.
And one smart thing that I did was I had all my money saved that I had saved from like not paying rent, and gave it to my parents, and I said, you're going to, like, I divided it up by the time, and he said, you're going to give me a paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I take all the money with me, I was going to fucking spend it all.
Yeah.
So that was a smart thing, but somehow we fucked up, and we were like $300 left, and we still had 2 weeks.
Got you.
And we were in London, and London's not fucking cheap.
No, it's not.
So in college, we met this guy from Cyprus.
Okay.
Greece. and he happened to be there because it was summer break.
Yeah.
We bought a cheap ticket, like $100, to go to Cyprus. We stayed with him for the last 2 weeks of the trip. We stayed at his house. His parents cooked for us every day.
Dope.
And then flew back and had no money.
Yeah, of
so
course.
Moved back with the parents.
That's the thing that you don't think about.
But that was my goal, honestly. Like when I was packing and I left on that trip, I remember that morning saying to myself, like, if I come back with any money, it's time I could have had spent over there better.
Exactly.
I wanted to run out of money, and I sure did.
Okay.
So I came back, moved in with my parents, started working odd jobs while I was figuring out what to do.
Where they live in San Antonio now?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
My mom lives in California now, and my sister lives in Mexico.
Okay, dope.
And I was like, okay, well, what am I doing here in San Antonio?
Mm-hmm.
I started looking at jobs, ended up in Austin because my sister lived here at the time. And worked at this place called La Condesa, which was one of like 5 restaurants in Austin doing like good shit. And, and it was doing Mexican food. Mexican food was, you were starting to hear about Enrique, you were starting to hear about Mexico City and Moles and all that stuff. So I said, I'm Mexican. I might as well do this whole Mexican cooking thing a try. But mostly I needed a job. And I sent them the cockiest email I've ever sent to somebody.
Yeah.
Pretty much saying, like, I just got back from Europe. I'm the shit. I'm really good at this. I won all these competitions. And I'm Mexican, so you need me on your team.
Yeah, exactly.
So long story short, I moved in. I came in the next day for an interview, did a start the next day, and moved in to my sister's like living room studio situation within a week.
Dope.
And I've been here for, I think I've been saying 10 years for the past 3 years. So I think we're like 12, 13 years now. And
that's
worked
your
at
default
Condesa.
Answer.
Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, I've been saying this for a long time now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I worked at Condesa. I started as a line cook. That was like the first time I fell in love with Mexican food because it was Mexican food, but through the eyes of a chef. It wasn't like the stereotypical, like, there's like, okay, we want to use palm sugar, like, instead of piloncillo, let's fuck with that.
Yeah.
Fish sauce. Why don't we use fish sauce?
Exactly.
Can we use soy sauce in our cochinita marinade? It's salt. Let's do it. And it's not going to taste Asian. It's just going to fucking bring it up to
round
another
it
level.
out. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's when I kind of put everything back together as a chef.
Who's the chef?
A Mexican. That was Rene Ortiz.
Okay.
So worked for him for a good amount of time. Then I started to realize that I was good at the job I was doing, but I was missing out on learning other things. So
gotcha.
I became a sous chef there after like a year or so.
Yeah.
2 years I wanted to just like learn other things, and I kind of quit my job before even having a job. And I just started looking for places around the kitchen. At that point, I was staging at a place called Barley Swine.
Okay.
Which was also like one of the 5 restaurants at the time doing like cool shit.
Got you.
At that point, they were in a place on South Lamar, which was very, very unique, very small, like 30-something seats.
Yeah.
It was around the time where it was like really cool to write on menus, substitutions politely declined, and you could buy beer for the kitchen. So it was like one of those restaurants in Austin that was like doing shit.
Yeah.
And they had like 6 cooks, and nobody would ever leave because it's such a unique, fun place.
Yeah.
And I always tried to get in there, but they weren't hiring. So my goal was to like find a way to go in there, and in the meantime, I needed to pay rent, so I was going to get what I call a burner job.
Yeah. Foot Locker, baby. Put on that referee kit.
That burner job ended up being a job that is not burner at all. It was at a place called Uchiko.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
So
that's funny. You walk in there, you're like, whatever. And then
I had been a sous chef. I didn't want to manage people. I just wanted to like take it easy, get back on the line.
Got you, yeah.
But I found out like a lot of people didn't want to hire me because I was overqualified for the jobs that I was applying.
Heard.
And I was like, no, like this is what I want. Like let's do this. Like I'm gonna be your most reliable cook.
You don't face that problem now. Everyone will be like, oh, you were a lawyer before? Yeah, of course you can work the fry station. Like I don't give a fuck, you know. But back in the day, they're like, that's a little weird.
That is very true.
It's like how people look at you when you're not married. They're like, no one can stand him. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck you, man. Like, we got to normalize this shit.
You're a lawyer. Yeah, let's put you on grill, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Put him on the burger station.
We need hands.
If he really wants this, let's see.
So then I ended up going to Uchiko. Met a lot of great people. Spent some time there, just line cooking. There was talks about me getting back into management, but like, Japanese food was not something that like excited me, especially after like working with Mexican ingredients and working with Rene.
Yeah.
So then he gave me a call one day and say, "Hey, I'm open in this restaurant called Laundrette. Do you want to be the chef de cuisine?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I think this is one thing that you don't let go to voicemail."
Yeah.
So I did that. That was the first time I worked on seeing what opening a restaurant was behind the scenes. Of a chef. And I'm very glad I did that because it showed me how stupid I was. Before that, I had no idea how much a fucking range cost.
Yeah.
I didn't know how you build a kitchen. I just showed up at kitchen before. Before that, right?
It was already here.
But like, thinking about where you're going to put the drain, where you're going to put the outlets for the printers, the outlets for where you're going to plug in all your equipment. Like, that was a lot of hard work that I had no idea how to start. I also grew up in Mexico, so English is my second language. So I would go to like meetings with Rene, the partners and the architects, and then they would be like, "Do you want casters on this?" And I would like play it cool, but I had no idea what casters were.
Yeah.
Why didn't they fucking just call them little wheels?
Yeah.
Like, do you want wheels on your stove? Yes or no? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
No. So instead, I was like going to these meetings and then
You're like, we don't
writing
need
notes
casters.
and then like going back and like Googling casters, soiled, soiled. Why don't we just call it dirty?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of my sister's an architect, so I would also call her. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
What does ADA mean? And she was like, it's American Disabilities, blah blah. So there was a lot of big learning curves that I'm so thankful that I went through that because part of my goals when I started cooking is if I ever want to open my restaurant, I have to do it with someone else's money first.
Yes,
and that was something that I did, and I looked dumb in a lot of meetings. So when those meetings were my meetings, I looked professional.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
So now, I fucking tell you if I want casters or not all day long.
Yeah.
No problem.
Just like, shit, I got casters on my car, bro. Oh, man. So how long did you do the CDC job there for?
So I was there for a little bit under a year before we actually opened, just planning.
Okay.
In that time, I was working on helping. He's also partners at a restaurant called Fresas.
Okay.
Which is just like charcoal chicken, good but fast casual. So I was like, delicious. That was kind of like paying my bills, and I was also working on menu, offsites, planning kitchen equipment and stuff like that. So I did that for about a year, and then 2 years of like the restaurant open.
Gotcha.
At that time, I wanted to put stars on my resume because I was just a kid that worked in just Austin restaurants.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it was during that time where you thought that you needed that too.
I thought I needed that, and I wanted to go to New York.
Yeah.
There were some people that I cooked with back in the day at Condesa that were already there, and I visited with my partner at the time, and we were like ready to like move. We started saving money. We were looking at places, thinking about where we were going to work and all those things. And then out of nowhere, Sam, who's my partner in Suerte, he reached out to me from back in the day at Barley's One. He used to be a sous chef there.
Gotcha.
And that's where we met. And he just saw that I was, a kid that like was really passionate at the time about food. And then when I opened Laundrette, some of his cooks from another restaurant that he was a part of, Odd Duck, left to go work with me.
Okay.
So he reached out and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this restaurant that's obsessed with masa, with tortillas." Nobody was doing that at the time here in Austin.
Not at all. Well, now you see
that's a standard. That's a gold standard.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm very happy for that.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "I don't want to be the chef. I know you're a good chef. Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "You know what? I'm actually like about to leave to New York. Like that's where I'm at in my life."
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, what if I like made it a thing where you can call your own and be a partner in this thing?" And I just paused, and I was like, I was 28 at the time, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I just told him straight up, I was like, "I can run a kitchen. I did that for the past 2 years. I know I can do the food. Like I'm excited for that, but I don't know shit about paperwork.
Gotcha.
So if you give me what that looks like on paper." And if you don't mind, I'll take it to a lawyer, and then we can talk from there.
Yeah.
And he sure did. He did a deal that was on the very generous side for me. I spent what hurt a lot of that time, $300 to talk to a lawyer to tell me this is a good deal, dude.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was not making good money. I had a good job, but I was like working a lot, and $300 on a lawyer that's
a lot of money.
That's a lot of fucking
Even
money.
Today.
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
Now I'm thankful I did that, right?
Those motherfuckers charge like $1,000 now.
But